Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I'm making 5 different Christmas trees from all thrifted items. If you're new here and you like home decor and DIYs on a budget, make sure to stick around by hitting that subscribe button and ringing the bell for notifications so you never miss out on a new video. Now let's get into all of these thrifted items that I turned into Christmas trees this year. For this first thrifted Christmas tree, I wanted to make the glass bowl Christmas trees that I have been seeing everywhere. I think they are so beautiful. So I went to my thrift store and I thrifted 5 glass bowls in various sizes that when you stack them on top of each other, they all look like they're tiered. And then I also thrifted a base, which was a cake stand, and then a top, which I found a glass bell for. I went ahead and cleaned all the glassware and took the stickers off. Now it's time to put everything together. You want to use a really strong adhesive. I used this B7000. Mine is old, that is why it looks yellow. I did go back and redo this with a new tube of B7000 because it does dry clear. So all you need to do is start off with your base, add the glue, and then turn your first bowl upside down and add that to your base, and then do the same thing with the second, third, fourth, and fifth bowl. And like I said, all the different shapes and sizes all stack up nicely so that way it looks tiered. And then I added my bell at the end. I love how this turned out. It's so pretty and elegant, and it looks beautiful anywhere you put it for Christmas, and it definitely looks vintage. You can make many different sizes with these to stick within your budget. Mine cost around $25 to make. I think it is gorgeous. If you're afraid of breaking the glass tree, don't worry, because you can also use metal mixing bowls or metal pie pans, things like that from the thrift store, so that way it's not as easily breakable. So I picked up these 2 mixing bowls, and I'm using this candlestick as my base. It came from Dollar Tree, and I'm just gonna spray paint it silver. And then I used that same B7000 glue on the base, and I glued down the bigger mixing bowl, and then I glued the smaller mixing bowl on top of that bigger mixing bowl, just like I did with the glass bowls. And then it worked out really well. Now you can do this with as many bowls or as many pans as you can find in different sizes. I just found these 2 as a set, so I thought it would be perfect. And then as a topper, I just used the top off of this salt and pepper shaker. I glued it with that B7000 on top of that bowl. And then I thought that this needed a little bit of color, so I added this red velvet bow to the top. I just tied it like a regular bow, and then I added this little sprig of fake greenery that I had, and I think this turned out just as beautiful as the glass Christmas tree. It just has a different vibe. I think it's super cute. It works perfect to decorate for the kitchen, and it's not breakable, so that's even better. For this next thrifted Christmas tree, I'm going to use this book. You can use any book you want. And I'm going to do the same thing like I did with the pumpkin in my Halloween video. If you guys watched that, I am going to make this into a Christmas tree. So I just cut off the cover of the book with an X-Acto knife, and then I just took out the first few pages, just like the title page. And I'm going to start off with taking one corner of the top of the page and folding it over into a triangle, and then I took the rest of the page and folded that over into a longer triangle, and then I folded that bottom up that's sticking out, and then we're going to fold it underneath what we just folded, so that way we create a triangle. And I'm going to do that with all of the pages. Now this book was long. It was about 320 to 330 pages or something like that, so it did take about an hour and a half to do this because I watched a full Hallmark movie while I was doing this, but it was relaxing and it's super easy to do. Now, when I got to the middle of the book, it does get a little bit harder to fold the pages down. So what I did was I flipped back and forth between the opposite side of the book, the back of the book. I started folding those pages over the opposite direction towards the other triangles. And that kind of made it a little bit easier to work on the book. And I just alternated between that, flipping it over and doing a few pages in the back of the book and then doing a few pages the other way. Then once I got towards the end, the last like 10 pages, it was kind of just standing up on its side while I was finishing it. But it was really simple and easy to do. And then I just took a red ribbon and tied it into a bow and added that on top of the tree. You could add a cute little star on top of it. You could cut a star out of some of the book pages to add on top of this. I think this is just a really cute and pretty way to add a little Christmas tree to your decor. I found this next piece at the thrift store that was perfect for making a base for a Christmas tree. I believe it is a candle holder that is missing the glass piece to it, but all I found was this piece and I thought it would work perfectly. So what I'm gonna do is take a piece of styrofoam and I just pushed it down in the top there to get the shape, and then I hot glued it to keep it in place. Now I'm just gonna take a Christmas tree. This is one I already had, and I just pushed it down into that styrofoam. You can use whatever Christmas tree that you have. I would suggest maybe one that is less than 4 feet tall. This one was 2 feet tall, so this is more of just kind of a decorative Christmas tree that you can sit around, not like your main Christmas tree. And then I covered up that styrofoam with some moss, and I love how this turned out. It looks really elegant and pretty. You can add lights to the tree, and it just elevates any little Christmas tree to a new level, and it didn't cost very much at all. For this last thrifted Christmas tree, I saw this picture of a book Christmas tree on Pinterest, and I just thought, I have to recreate this. It's so cool. So I picked up some thrifted books, and I'm going to use 2 of these Dollar Tree candle holders that are the same height. I painted these with some gold spray paint, and I'm going to put them one behind each other because you need something to hold up the front end of the books and the back end of the books because it's kind of heavy. I put a little hot glue on the top of each of the candle holders, and then I'm going to take one of the books. I just took the cover off of the book, the plastic cover, and then I'm going to lay it upside down and make sure that the pages are about halfway through the book when I put it over the candlestick holders. And then I took the next book, did the same thing over the first book, and so on until I got to the end of the book. So you want to make sure that you get books that are different sizes and all stack on top of each other so that way you get that tiered effect. The candle holders ended up being more of a balancing act towards the end. But you could definitely use another thick book in place of the candle holders and put it down long ways, if that makes sense, to make the base of the Christmas tree instead of the candle holders. But I do like the candle holders because it makes it look a little more vintage, but I think the book would look cool too. And then lastly, I just added a pretty little ribbon to the top with a bow. I just hot glued it down to the top of the book, and I love how this turned out. It was super easy to do. It's really affordable and definitely a cute way to display some books. You could get some Christmas books, things like that, to display this, but I love how it looks for Christmas time. Thank you all so much for watching today. I hope you like these thrifted Christmas trees and it gave you some ideas to go out and thrift some stuff to make your own Christmas trees this year. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.